Hey, it's the Rod Troweller here again. Yes, it's from sunny Southern California. Sunny day. As you can see the window over there, and it's bright and sunshiny here on an early afternoon. So today's video, I decided to talk about something. It's a little off of the usual theme of my videos because I think it's an important thing, though, for most people, especially if you're just starting out in the work world. You might be someone who's about to graduate, or a student, or maybe you're just tired of school and you want to go out and start working in the work world, or do some kind of entrepreneurial endeavor or project. These are all great things. I think everybody has to try to do what they love to do, and it might not work the first few weeks, years, months, or even decades, but eventually you will find the thing that works best for you. You might love something, and then you love it so much you're going to eventually do it as a profession, and it will eventually bring you what you need. Your needs will get fulfilled from what you love to do. And when you do what you love to do every day, you will never have to work. You will always be doing what you love to do. Now, I probably wasn't doing exactly that my whole career, my whole life, but I did enjoy my profession. I have quite a lot of schooling. I have gone to university, and twice I actually went to the same university and graduated with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. And I went on from there, and I got certificates in most of my schooling, of course, was in Canada. And then I got a certificate along the same line of profession that I chose to do here in the United States to add to my education, which was about, I think I finished it about 10 or 12 years ago or so. And so that added to my background. So anyways, the topic of today's video is sort of what I was just talking about. Do what you love, and eventually all your needs will be taken care of. If you truly do, every single day you do something that your heart is in, you're going to love what you do, and people will eventually notice that your heart is in it. That it's not just you're forced to do it because your boss told you to do it, or you're doing it because you need the paycheck at the end of the week to make the car payment, or you need the paycheck at the end of the month to make your rent payment or your mortgage payment, or your kid needs a new pair of shoes, or you gotta, that's not a motivation to do what you need to do. You need to do what you love. You just got to do what you love. And it's that simple. You really have to go with your heart and do what you love, and all your needs will be taken care of. So that's really the theme of this particular video, and I just wanted to go through a little bit about my background. And at the moment, this is 2015, it's a couple days before the beginning of April, and it's now, I think it's about 15 months or so since I last received any kind of a financial gain, any kind of a paycheck, any kind of monetary, any kind of money whatsoever. I do expect a small amount of money back from my tax return for last year, but I haven't received it yet. And so far, for the last 15 months or so, I have been living off of savings. Now, I guess that's really what I came to talk about on this video, is that it's really important for everybody who wants to live a lifestyle where you can travel for free and enjoy those vacations and that traveling, that you, when you do have some kind of an income, there's a paycheck, or you have a business, or you sold something that made money, you bought something and now it's worth more. It could be a collector's item, or it could be jewelry, or it could be anything, and you sell and you got some money. Try to put something away. Every time you get money, every time you make some money, you get a paycheck, you get, some people make dividends off of stocks, or a capital gain off of something you bought and sold it for more, or you might have you might babysit for somebody and they pay you for doing that. Well, every time you get some kind of a money, any kind of monetary reward, any kind of money, you need to put away some of it. You don't necessarily have to put away all of it, but you need to put some of it away for the future, because there's going to be times in your life that you're going to need that, and you're going to be, if you didn't have it, you're going to be wishing you had it. And if you do have it, even if it never happens that you need it, you're going to be happy you have it. So that's the number one thing. Whenever you have money coming in, try to figure out a way that you could keep your lifestyle down to the lowest possible expenses. Don't take on the mortgage that's $3,000 or $4,000. Even if you're making $1 million a year, don't sign up for the house that the Joneses have because you want to live next to the Joneses and you want to compete with the Joneses. Like, that's not important. That's not important. What you need to do is get basic shelter. Find yourself an apartment or a situation with a roommate situation, or a couch surfing, or something where you can spend a minimal amount as possible and eat the foods that cost the least possible that you can enjoy. Of course, I suggest people eat raw vegan, and if you do, you'd have to eat a lot of bananas and a lot of dates. And if you look on my Instagram channel, which is IANG000, you'll see what I've been eating. I put every single thing I eat on there, and you'll see lots and lots and lots of bananas. Why do I have a lot of bananas as food? Because bananas are really inexpensive. They're one of the foods that you can find almost anywhere in the world, and they're delicious. They're a quick snack, and they're very nutritious, and they have a lot of calories. So that's why I eat a lot of bananas. I probably also eat a lot of citrus, which is also, it's almost in the same category as bananas, especially in Southern California. And I also eat a lot of strawberries and a lot of things that I find. I go to one of the grocery stores and they mark down salads that are gonna, their expiration date is coming in 2 or 3 days, and they mark them down to half price. Well, I'm ready to eat the whole salad. This is a pound of salad. I just consume the whole thing that afternoon. I don't care if it's going to expire in 2 or 3 days. It's going to be disappeared in a few hours. So I buy those when they come. They're at half price. I look for these kind of things at the grocery store all the time. Luckily, I'm just walking distance from one of those stores that does that. They mark down things when they're getting close to the expiration date. So that's another thing I do to extend my ability to continue living off of savings. And just be creative. If you really can't do it, you might be able to find a job at a grocery store, and they might just give you boxes and boxes of stuff they're about to throw out, and you might take it home and live off of it for days. Uh, there's all kinds of things. I mean, there's even a meetup group that I never ended up going to, but it's about, some people, this might not be agreeable to some people, but it's about dumpster diving. People that go behind certain types of stores, and they know certain days that they're going to be throwing out a whole bunch of good produce, and they just, right, they don't let it sit there for weeks and get rats in it and stuff. No, they know exactly the time they throw it out, and that same, like within an hour, they go and take it out of the dumpster, and they enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with that. And we live in a society where if there's a spot or two on an apple, the store throws it away. If there's a spot or two on a banana, the store will just throw it away. Sometimes they'll give it to the homeless people or some kind of a shelter, but most of the time they just throw it in the dumpster. And there's no reason that we people who are capable of eating that kind of stuff should not take it. We should take it and not let it go to waste, because this is good food. There's nothing wrong with it. So there's a lot of creative ways that you can live off of very little money. Be creative, figure it out, go look around, network with people, and find a place that you can stay for as little money as possible. Try to eat as little as possible. When you do have money coming in, try to save some of it, put away at least 10%, if not more. I think throughout my career, if I didn't put away at least 20 or 30% of every time I got money throughout my whole career, I mean, that was the average. Probably 20 to 30% of every time I got paid, I put that money away. So I paid myself, and I paid myself for it. So now that my lifestyle is somewhat changed, I'm able to do this. I'm probably capable of continuing to live like this for the rest of my life. I don't have a lot of money, but I know how to make it last. I know how to stretch it. I know how to make it go farther. That's one of the reasons why I'm promoting this free travel stuff. I can travel almost anywhere I want in the world. I go to places where the cost of living is probably 10 to 15% of what it is here in the United States, and I'll spend several months there, and that would stretch out your savings for a lot longer than staying here. I could travel from there. I could go to another place that's also has a low cost of living, spend some time there, and then once you're allowed to come back to the first place, you come back to the first place again. So it's quite easy to do it once you learn how to do it. It might be challenging at first. You might have a hard time thinking, oh, I could barely have enough money to do this and that. But a lot of the things that everybody else is doing, like everybody has to have a fancy car or a boat, or like I see some of the people on YouTube and they're making a lot of money, but then all of a sudden they used to say that, oh no, I'm Mr. Frugal and I'm never going to need money, but then all of a sudden they're making the money and they're wasting it on stupid things like a boat. Why would someone ever need a boat? I mean, we're human beings. We have feet. We're land animals. Okay, it's nice to have a boat maybe for a couple of hours and go on a ride once in a while and maybe rent it for a day, but who needs a boat? It's just a big headache. It's going to go down in value. It's going to it takes a lot of maintenance, a lot of time. It's just a big headache, and whoever buys a boat is just going to regret it. I'm sure. My dad bought a boat one time when I was pretty young, and it was the biggest nightmare. And I learned from that experience that buying a boat is just stupid. You let the other person buy the boat and you rent it for a couple of hours and you give it back to them. It's like children. If it's your nephew and your niece or your somebody else's children. You can have fun with them for as long as you want, but then at the end of the day, or at the end of the time you're taking care of them, you give them back to the parents, and then you have to deal with the diaper changing and all that parenty stuff that I don't necessarily want to do. So that's like, why buy something that you can rent or use for a short time or borrow and enjoy it and not have the negative part of it? Whoever would want to own something? I right now I own a car, but that too has been a headache. A few weeks ago I parked it in a place down here in Los Angeles, and I just must have been I don't know, zombie or something, and I didn't notice the sign right next to my car that said it was street sweeping or something just at the time I parked there. And I walked away and I went to get some salad at a restaurant, and then I came back and I had a ticket. And it's like, well, I said, why do I have a car? I don't know why. And it's just there's maintenance. And I got the check engine light on. I got the ABS light on the car. It's got I got to pay the insurance. I just moved from Hawaii to California, and my insurance has gone up by $200 in 6 months. Like, I didn't even pay it yet. I've got to pay that. There's the registration. You have to find a place to keep it. You have to park it. You got to maintain it and fill it with gasoline, and it pollutes, and it's a nightmare. So I don't know who wants cars. Like, especially people want these snazzy, fancy cars, and they want to look like Joe Hot Rod or whatever. But I say, good, let them do whatever they want. But I'm probably going to sell the car, maybe get myself a bicycle to transport myself around, and it makes no sense. I don't see any reason behind having these expensive articles just so you look like, Mr. Rich guy or not rich guy. It doesn't matter. These people that wear clothes from brand names, like, if I ever wear a brand name anything, please put me out of my misery. I think anything with a brand name it's just crazy. People who buy stuff just because it has a brand name or a logo on it, come on. That's just insanity. It's just the same stuff. Like, you can get a hat. This hat cost me $5. I've been using it for about 3 years now, and it shows, but it still does the job. It still keeps me from getting too much sun on my head, and it's working. So it doesn't have a brand name on it. It cost me $5 at a drugstore, and I needed it at the time, and here it is. Several years later, it's still doing the job. It doesn't have a brand name on it. It's the same hat that has brand names on it. It's just, if they put the brand name on it, it's going to cost 5 times as much. So just wake up, do what makes sense as human beings, as another species that lives on this planet. Watch what other species do. Do you ever see squirrels, trying to get a brand name or saving up their nuts so that they can get a new Maserati? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Just live within your means, be creative, do what you have to do to get by. And when you do find that you get some money, whether you have a job or some kind of a means of making money, put away money. Always put away money for that day that someday things might not go so well, things might not be so smooth, and then you'll be so happy that you did that, so happy that you put that money away. So that's my suggestion today, and hopefully we're going to see you on another flight real soon. Bye.